Welcome, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with an install guide for Black Ice. Okay, first up, I want to ask you all to come over to my page if you're not over there, or at the end of this video, and subscribe to my channel for all your Hearts of Iron needs as well as other wargaming. We do have tutorials and other things as well as just the Let's Play. Even if you don't have time to, I understand this entirely, watch all the episodes of everything, but I really appreciate it if you would subscribe. Okay, now we're going to get started with installing Black Ice on Hearts of Iron 3. Now, first up, and this is a special note to Steam users, if you have Hearts of Iron 3 installed through Steam, you will need to move or copy it to another location. Steam will see this next step and it'll become apparent why, but make another copy of Hearts of Iron to a new location if you're a Steam user, or just simply if you however you want to do it. Okay, the first thing you need to do is get this file. You can find, this is Podcat's exe. Podcat is one of the main developers for both Hearts of Iron 3 and 4, or you can get it here. This is the download page for generally this is the Black Ice 9 download page to be gotten in either of those locations. You need that. It is a 64-bit version of the exe that they released only through the forum and such. And as I said, for Steam users, but everyone needs this, not just Steam users, but Steam will see it as the incorrect version of the exe. Oh, well, I already have it here, but we'll copy and replace it here. And if you hadn't already done that, it wouldn't be here. We can also delete this because we don't need that here just yet. So, and once you get this here, you will want to extract here. Now this time you will want to replace it because you're replacing the 32-bit version with the 64-bit version, and like I say, Steam would see that as the wrong version and put you back, and so later cause problems. So yes, you'll want to overwrite it. Mine were the same versions because it was already 64-bit, but you will want to do that. You need to do that to have Black Ice work. Okay, now I've already know these, but installation, obviously they say you've got to have Podcat's exe, and then you want to move your Black Ice to the mod folder for their finest hour. So that is right here, their finest hour, then mod. We're going to step through all this process. So copy here. Now that you have Black Ice 9, you will want to extract here. Now this is going to take, on my system, it varies by system, probably about 10 minutes. I'm going to let this run all the way through, just because we need to install it. Again, you can jump ahead in the video about 10 minutes if you want to see the next step going on, and we'll go back to the full blue screen. So just look for that if you want to skip ahead a bit. Well, that took only about half as long as I thought. So we have the Black Ice basic install done. Now we need to come over here. There is a patch. Copy here. The patch can be gotten here. If you're watching this sometime later, the patch is, of course, may have likely changed to some, additional ones or replacement version. So we will extract here. And yes, you will want to overwrite. Overwrite yes to all. Because you're patching, whether they're bug fixes or improvements or whatever, you're patching that. So you'll want to do that. Next, you will want to get Third Reich events. My mod here. This mod. I want to thank George 1941, Pavolini, Vlad Virgil, and Callian 911 as major contributors to the mod, and Count Blue as continuing maintainer to updating it for the various Black Ice 9 point whatever versions. And if you would please come down here and just agree to it. I want to just show support for the mod mainly to Paradox. Other things in the works we won't go into it here, but the popularity of it to Paradox is quite useful to showing. So you download it and move it to, again, the mod folder there for their finest hour. So just like you've done the others, copy or move or however you want to do it. I'm copying. I want to keep that there. So once it's here, now again, extract here. So, and it should look like this. Excuse me. Now that we have TRE, you will want to do units of the Third Reich. Alexei's mod, very good mod. Adds a lot of historical unit. Some of them are just headquarters. Some of them are full units, as well as some other events dealing with things. Very good mod. You can of course see all of these 3 mods currently on my this series here in the 8.6 version of the game. I may be making a newer version of my playthrough, but currently that you can see them all. You can see them there being played. So, this one again, we need to look at the instructions, and this one is a bit different here. That's why I paused. You will want to extract to your main folder where your exe is, and you will know where that is because you have that is the same place that you put Podcats. Exe. So you'll copy or move to there, and then you'll extract here. So then you can come again down to here and look at the mod folder, and you will see UTR here and a UTR mod. These are not video files, these are just a text file that uses the same extension there. So you will want to do that next. And it's important to do these in this order. Do these, at least TRE and UTR first. Then you want to come over here to get what had been German graphical augmentation mod is now German gameplay mod and German graphical augment mod. Again, I tease my German friends that they're over literal in this. Yes, Third Reich events is sort of what the label on the tin is, what's inside, but Third Reich's a little bit more than just German events or something like that. Yes, I'm teasing my friend. Need a catchier name for his mod. So this one, the beta 1 currently, is all of the events. You can see a lot of them are talked about up here, and those elements of the game. The Beta 9 is the graphical augmentation part of the mod. And it is recommended to extract here. And then you come here, come to this level here, and then get these. We're going to copy them here. Now, this is why this needs to be done after the previous two mods. You want to copy and replace, yes, and yes. The MOD files, or the basic mods for TRE and UTR as released, are able to be done as standalone mods. If you're going to play all three of these mods together, or the GGA mod, you need to have the other mods, and these MOD files need to be changed to reflect that, and Revolver Held has done that for you, so you just allow it to overwrite. Now here, again, the Beta 9, come into here, grab this GGA file, and copy it here. And I'll ask if you want to merge the file, and you'll go yes. And for the sub ones, you will also go yes. The graphical augmentation part adds different colored counters, adds black and white images. I'll show you those off in a few moments. We will want to copy and replace the duplicate files in there. So now we have the mods installed. And now I want to show you a pro tip here to the game. This is something that I just have already done as standard in all of my installs here, and it's something you want to do. You will want to create a text file called user dir.txt. That is user.dir.txt. You will want to create this text file, or name it that. And you will want to simply have in that text file, period, this version of the slash, their finest hour. That's it. That's why it's so simple. It's nothing anybody needs to post. Just create this as a text file. Do it in Notepad or some other basic text editor. And you will have that. You will put that here. And what that does is, and I've sort of left a fragment of it here, is it creates, this is where all of your save games will end up. And I've just put in my settings file that sort of sets like screen size and things like that I like. So I've left that in there, and also I hope maybe reduces the volume sound a little bit there. So now that's the pro tip, and I have many things, even old stuff, installs of Hearts of Iron 3, and if you don't do that, if you sometimes play Black Ice and sometimes play RPM mod, or sometimes play a standard mod or the standard game, it will all be mess up all have different settings and saves, and this way it just puts it in for this install in one location and easy to find. And the big tip also for that it's easy to find, is I have not played Black Ice 9, but I do know for 8.6 and many versions earlier, you have the crash problem on save. I think they've cleaned up the files, which will help the crash problem with Black Ice 9. But what I do is constantly remove excess old saves. I move them to a different subfolder in here, so that you just keep a few saves, the 3 auto saves and 2 or 3 other saves in that folder, and it has kept me having many fewer crashes on saves because of doing that. So that way you can find and move, and the reason I say move is if you want to go back to an older save point in your game, you can do so. You do not need to delete them. So, but that is a pro tip that will help you keep from crashing and keep you knowing where your files are. So now we're going to launch the launcher. That is a pro tip on keeping the game going well. So now you will see this, and you want to make sure all 4 of these boxes are checked. You almost have, you basically have to double click each one. Bad design on Paradox part, but okay. Doesn't matter the display order here. It's just obviously doing it in alphabetical. It's those MOD files that set the order correctly. And so you will want to now start the game. Yes, this is nicer. I kept the volume down. So we're going to continue to go through. It may take a few minutes to launch the game here, because it needs to create the map file and a few other things, but we will see how well this worked. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I really would appreciate it, even if, again, as you're not going to maybe daily watch videos, but it's a good way to keep up to date on Hearts of Iron 4 and its developments and improvements, as well as Hearts of Iron 3, and primarily Black Ice in that case. Just be patient with it. This will be one of your longer start times, because Black Ice uses a different map than the standard. So you're seeing initializing map logic. It's going through, and here is going to calculate paths. It's, I don't know how best to describe it, extracting the map. I don't know, into a more usable game version than how it is at release or whatever. And since the mod, Black Ice uses, in my opinion, the best map for Hearts of Iron 3. That's both in terms of visual as well as most correct historically. So, as I've been complaining, there's like not enough air bases in, say, generally southern Africa or in India. An air base, every province that has a infrastructure level 2 or other would have the ability to land and take off most aircraft of the day, but for like air resupply or air landing of troops. But an air base is a logistical establishment that's set up to refuel, rearm, and do at least basic maintenance for aircraft. And so I would agree, not everywhere has that logistical setup, but there are large cities that I am sure that had some level, a level 1 at least, airbase capability set up as a civil airport that do not have them. So that was just sort of a pet peeve of mine at the moment, because as I'm making this video, I'm currently playing, or have recently played, the invasions of India and Southern Africa. And I'm sure the same thing holds true in South America as well. Because we know countries like Paraguay and Bolivia had been at war with each other, 1934-35 era, and they had multiple airstrips operating. And if you'll note, these are primarily, not exclusively, Revolver Held's intro screens for his mod. Still acknowledging Black Ice is there. He's doing so in the title, but otherwise. Using his graphic versions. If there is interest, and you can post below, I can do another install guide on how I like to install the game personally, which is different than this install guide, but is more complicated. Sort of like advanced install. I think there's 4,000 of those, something like that. The textures for quad. Oh, we're getting more than that. Oh, 4,000, 48,000. Okay, so now we have the map properly installed. That again should be your longest startup time. We're going to do single player. We're going to do the German Reich, and we will start this. Okay, so here is your basic start. As you can see here, these are the correct what are they, Waffenverband colors here. Traditionally, cavalry was yellow, so when the later panzers came along, there weren't too many unused colors, so they went with pink. I personally, my personal aesthetics, don't like them. White is infantry color for the German army. Engineers are black. And this is correct there for like the cavalry. Again, yellow. So I'm not in favor personally of the bright colors, but that's why I don't use them. And this shows you their nice images that he does use. I like these, and I also like the standard black ice images, but this also adds a lot of other unit name Germanification of stuff for other armies, so it's up to your personal taste whether you want to do that. I don't know what else we want to show off here. Well, I guess this shows off the color schemes if you like that. Some people do. I mean, not just Alexei or Revolver Hilt, sorry. But that's a personal taste thing, not a gameplay. So this is what a properly installed Black Ice with Third Reich events, units of the Third Reich, and GGA. So we'll come back out to here. Well, please post questions, comments, suggestions, ideas below. I really love hearing from you. Feedback will improve, as well as maybe can answer it, or somebody else can answer some questions. If there is enough confusion, I will see about making others of these videos. And again, I want to ask you, please subscribe to my channel on YouTube. There should be a little thing coming up with a subscribe option now. Please hit that so much. Thanks all for watching. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.